This is the views of an angry black woman. Today's topic is the complete and utter screw up of the police of Uvalde, Texas. These school shootings are out of control. I think everyone can agree on that for sure. But what took place at Robb Elementary on Tuesday, May 24th was a shameful disaster. I know I'm going to piss some people off in the Blue Lives Matter world, but I don't really give a damn. When you put on a uniform and take an oath, you have a responsibility to protect and serve. You give up the right to be a coward when you face a terrorist. I'm so angry I can hardly speak right now. The lying about the timeline and what actually happened, that's cruel and unjust punishment to the parents and the unfortunate children and all the families that suffered or lost that day, as well as all of society. We're all hurting over this one. I cannot fathom how an 18-year-old aggressor could show up at an elementary school. Y'all grab a clock, grab a time clock, or go to your microwave and set the timer for 12 minutes. Yes, 12 minutes. You need to feel the fear that these babies went through. Set the timer for 12 minutes. Now let's run this clock out. That this piece of shit is outside the school, a Robb Elementary School, shooting for 12 minutes. Now we know the children can hear this. The children are inside. We know they can hear this because we as adults know damn well there's no such thing as a quiet AR-15. You tell me, this is the sound of an AR-15. That's an AR-15. These are babies listening to this. What is the police doing? But this is just outside the school. For 12 minutes, these babies are subjected to this madness. But that's just outside the school. Where was the armed school police officer? We still don't know at this time because of all the inconsistencies and lies that are playing out at this very minute. Is your timer still going? Because mine is. Apparently, the police arrived after the gunman entered the school. The parents are saying that the police was at the school for at least 40 minutes before any of them went inside the school. In the meantime, there are children inside the school, already traumatized and scared to death with a maniac with an assault rifle. Now the parents have already rushed to the school, but they're not allowed to go in and save their children. Oh, but don't forget, there is a police officer who went into that school and got his children out. He got his children out of that same school. According to the parents, they're begging the police to rush to school and save the children. The police at this time chose to arrest, you heard me, arrest and pepper spray the parents that tried to storm the school to get their children. The police is apparently waiting on the Border Patrol to get to the school to do their jobs. Well, damn, why do they have badges and uniforms? I'm waiting. Why do they have badges and uniforms if they can't go in and take down a lone gunman? It can't get any worse than this. The first officer, the school officer that's been drawing a check just for sitting at the school for appearance, he needs to be fired. No way that person should still have a job after this. He should be ashamed to look in the mirror. He should be ashamed to even ask a woman to spread her legs to him. If he couldn't protect that school and those children, how is he going to protect his family? Then to lie and say that he was in a gunfight with the suspect before he entered the school is just horrible. Why the lies? Don't you think the parents and the nation have suffered enough? Wasn't our grief enough for you to stand up like a man and admit that you were too coward to go in? No, sir. He doesn't deserve to ever put on a uniform. Not ever. To the men who lost their wives, they gave their lives to protect the children that were entrusted to them. May you also find peace and just know that your wives were the ultimate sacrifice to trying to save those children. May you always remember that they understood the assignment and followed through as guardians and heroes. May God forever bless them and keep them. As far as the chief of Uvalde, Texas Police Department, you're a piece of shit. You don't deserve to wear a uniform either. You need to stick your head in the sewer and die. The chief of the Uvalde, Texas Police Department on Thursday issued a press release which expressed thanks that his officers did not sustain any life-threatening injuries during the massacre killings of 19 students and 2 adults at an elementary school this week. You piece of shit. They didn't sustain any injuries because they didn't do their job. They could have still walked away without injuries. They didn't get any injuries because they didn't do a damn thing but stand outside. They didn't try to save the children. They didn't try to save the teachers. What are you thanking them for? For putting on a uniform and showing up? No, you don't get that. Chief Daniel Rodriguez's statement noticed that several responding officers were shot in the massacre but survived. It also praised officers for having responded within minutes to the attack. They responded and did what? Stood outside like a bunch of scared ass, like a bunch of scared cowards. That's what they did. They didn't respond to help the students that needed their help. They didn't respond to help the teachers. They stood outside waiting around. For what? There's one person, one gun. He maybe could have shot somebody. But they have on police officers don't they wear vests? They have little gas things they can throw in there to disable the person. There's lots of things that the police could have done. They could have threw tear gas. They could have shot rubber bullets. They could have did any damn thing but stand around. And you thanking them because they got there within 3 minutes? But they stood outside for 40 minutes. The Texas Department of Public Safety, Lieutenant Chris Oliveras, bluntly told CNN on Thursdays, get this, y'all, this shit got me scratching my head. He told CNN that the officers didn't breach the room because they could have been shot. Every officer takes an oath to protect and serve. You know when you put that uniform on, there's a possibility that you could have been shot. What chance did these children have? You might as well stay the fuck at home if you weren't willing to risk your life to save these students. You got there within minutes, but you stood around and did nothing because you were afraid you were going to get shot. That is so bad. I don't know who your public relations person is that wrote that statement for you, but they need their ass kicked, and so do you, for even being dumb enough to say some shit like that. because it doesn't make sense. What was your purpose of getting there? Texas Governor Greg Abbott, a Republican. Y'all know the fact that he's a Republican, you can't believe a damn thing he say. It's almost like a national anthem that everything come out of a Republican's mouth is a lie. But anyway, Texas Governor Greg Abbott, a Republican who initially praised the police for allegedly rushing toward danger, later said that he was livid over being misled. What he now believes really happens is, we ain't even gonna go there, because I saw on TV as it went down that very day. So he didn't have to take the police word for it. Texas Governor Greg Abbott should have been watching TV like the rest of us, and he would have knew that they were lying. So I'm just going to totally demolish whatever lie he got for coming back to apologize. The only damn reason he's apologizing now is because they got caught. They got caught lying and making up shit and changing the timeline several times. So now you want to say you were misled. You weren't misled. You knew damn well, like the rest of us, the same day that those officers stood around for 40 minutes. Senator John Cornyn, another Republican of Texas, he argued Saturday that the focus of the aftermath on the shooting at a Uvalde, Texas elementary school should be on the lessons learned. Damn right, we learned a lesson. We learned not to ever support the Republicans. We learned not to ever trust that the police would save us. We learned that the police is only there to draw a check and to kill black folks. Because had it been a black man, he could have been walking down the street with nothing and you would have shot him. But anyway, Cornyn says that what happened at the elementary school should be on the lessons learned from the incident instead of finger pointing at authorities. Really? Really? You don't want us to point out the fact that your officers stood around, arrested parents that were trying to save their children? You don't want us to point fingers at the authority, the police chief that told them not to go in? You don't want us to point fingers at the Republican Party that still went to the NRA meeting after these babies got killed? No, we should just overlook all this because they're the Republican Party. Get the fuck out of here. The second guessing and finger pointing among state and local enforcement is destructive, distracting, and unfair. There are 21 people dead, and he thinks that we should just sweep this on. Y'all get the broom. Get the broom. And by the way, we still have not reached that 12 minutes yet, okay? The kids are still listening to this sound outside. They're still listening to the shooting outside. But we should just sweep it under the rug because it's making the Republican Party look bad. It's making them look bad. But we're just going to sweep it under the rug and forget about the babies. There are so many questions that need answered. Oh yeah, let me hit on Ted Cruz. Did anybody besides me notice that about 12 Republicans tweeted the same message right after the shooting? About 4 hours later. They all had the exact same message. See, they don't have sympathy. They're not going to say anything bad about the NRA. And in case you don't know who the NRA is, it is the National Rifle Association. The people who put the guns into these children's hands so that they can do this. That's sad. They rather collect a check than to express humanity. That is sad. There are so many questions that need answers. We as citizens of the United States need to remember our own creed and start making some dire changes real soon. United we stand, divided we fall. This color thing has gotten out of hand. The police can kill an unarmed black man in the streets for little or nothing, but scared to shoot an armed maniac with an AR-15 and a dire threat to some babies at school. What the hell is going on? To the parents that lost their children in this madness, my heart goes out to you. I could never understand your true pain. To send your child to school where you think they're safe, only to find out that that's the last time they will ever leave out your door. That has to be the worst pain ever. In case no one has said this yet, you did nothing wrong. You were not to blame. This is not your fault. This is society's fault. I know it doesn't make your pain any less. I wish I could hug each and every one of you and tell you that it will get better. But I can't make that promise. I alone can't change the law, nor can I change the way people devalue humanity. We as a nation have to stand together and demand tougher gun laws. When the leaders are dependent on your votes, the first question we need to ask ourselves is, where does he or she stand on gun laws? The Republicans are so focused on striking down Roe versus Wade, but yet they're pocketing large dollars from the NRA. For those of you who don't know who the NRA is, it is the National Rifle Association. Yeah, they make the guns that are killing our children. Why do the Republicans want us to have more babies? Is it so that the maniacs can have more human bodies for target practice? Is it so that they can sell more guns to our children that suffer from mental illness? A disease which they fail to address over and over again. Maybe, just maybe, if we can get these people some help with their mental illness, we can prevent incidents like this from happening. The Republicans want us to have more babies, but yet they fail to protect the ones that we already have. I'm sorry, but that needed to be said. To the parents of these mentally deficient children that are going out here buying weapons, shame on you for not stopping them from owning a weapon. Shame on you for not reporting to the authorities that your child has a weapon and you don't think he's mentally capable of making good decisions. Mental illness is not something that happens overnight. Ain't no way these teenagers are out here buying guns, bringing them home, posting on social media, and you don't know about it. You don't deserve to have a child if they live in your home and you don't know his or her mental state. You failed your child and you failed society as well. So tired of the shooter's parents running to church to pray after the disaster. What the hell are you praying for? All the prayers in the world won't bring back the innocent victims. There's no amount of prayer that will change what you could have prevented in the first place. I'm sorry, I have no sympathy for you whatsoever. May you burn in hell with your son. And as far as this shooter at Uvalde school, I heard this mother saying, he doesn't have mental illness. He wasn't mentally ill. I'm sure he had his reasons. Girlfriend, you've been smoking too much damn crack, whack, or something. Your son had mental illness issues. You just didn't address them. And I noticed that the Republican Party has jumped on that. They're quick to say he did not have mental illness. Let me help you out here, and I don't have to be a damn psychiatrist to know this. I'm sure plenty of psychiatrists will know this, that will agree with me. Here you have an 18-year-old, well, he wasn't 18, he was 17, because he just turned 18. He's cutting himself in the face. He's talking about shooting up schools. He has become, the grandfather say he haven't talked to them in years. The mother hasn't seen him in years. Oh, she spoke with him on his 18th birthday. She got him a balloon and a Snoopy cart. Now, that probably might have been a goddamn psychotic break right there, buying him a damn 2-year-old, a gift for a 2-year-old for his 18th birthday. But regardless of that, he had mental illnesses. Just because you don't address his issues, kids are bullying him. People say he was being bullied. He would cut himself and tell people that other people did it. That was a cry for help. But you say he didn't have any mental illness problems. He wasn't talking to anybody. He wouldn't talk to his grandparents. He wouldn't talk to you. People at work complained that he was scruffy and raggedy and just weird. Your child had issues that you failed to address. Maybe, just maybe, if you would have put your drugs down long enough and spent some time with your son, maybe you would have noticed that he was crying out for help. But instead, 21 other people paid for it, and now you want sympathy. You want to run to church and pray. How is that helping? How's that working out for you? Because I'm just one person, and I see through the bullshit, and I don't have no sympathy for you. I hope you rot in hell and you think about every child that he killed every day. No matter how strong your drug is, I want you to feel what these other parents are feeling. I'm sorry. 27 school shootings this year, and it's only May. The teacher that left the door open, shame on you. You probably were the only one that knew that door was open. When you heard that first gunshot, did you go back and check and see that you closed that door? Probably not. You bear some responsibility. Because you should, if no one else went to check that door, you should have. Meanwhile, you got these other stupid ass kids playing pranks. Police in Denver rushed to Northfield High School campus in Northeast Denver on Thursday. On Thursday morning, 2 days after the Uvalde shooting, there were investigative reports that a student with a weapon on campus. Within 3 minutes, the officers responded after a student noticed something suspicious. 2 students were taken into custody. One student told CBS 4 that another student showed up with a splatterball gun in the area of Northfield High Gym and started shooting jellies at students. He described it as an orange and gray toy gun that shoots jelly like pellets. We all knew it was a joke. We all knew what it was, said Northfield Junior High. I'm not going to say this stupid kid's name. It was fun. It was all fun. It shouldn't have been done in school, but it was all taken in fun. No, that's not a joke. This is not a joke ever. This is not okay. And you should be punished severely by authorities and parents as well. 2 days after 21 people lost their lives in a school shooting, they decided it was funny to pull this kind of prank. What is wrong with today's children? I'm done with this. Y'all need to check your children. Decide who is worthy of your votes. Stop voting for these damn Republicans. They're killing our children, and they share no shame. Till next time, I'll be back with more issues because America is a hot mess.